92.3 FM and 106.5 FM WHOW. 95.9 FM WEZC. We're streaming live online tonight at DeWittDailyNews.com and also live streaming to Facebook and YouTube. It's our annual playoff preview show on this Saturday night. We are a mere 25 minutes from those brackets starting to spill out as high school football teams and coaches across central Illinois and the state of Illinois at large are looking forward to what those brackets have to tell them about their postseason prospects. And we continue coverage tonight with football coaches from around the area. And LeRoy football coach BJ Zeleznik joins us on the phone tonight. A good evening, Coach. How are you?
Dave, doing great. Beautiful night and excited for the pairings to come out.
What are you doing? You got your team with you? What's your tradition there at LeRoy, Coach?
We do a pizza playoff pairings party every year that we qualify. So we got the whole group over at one of our coaches' houses and coaches' families, and yeah, we got a fire out back. We got TVs with LSU, Texas A&M on, and everybody's just relaxing, having a good time.
Who's winning?
LSU, but A&M's putting up a fight.
There you go. Very good. Well, speaking of putting up a fight, Coach, your ball club put up a fight with everybody all year, running the table 9-0. How about that? Tell me the story of your season, Coach.
Well, we thought that we had an opportunity to be pretty good. We had 18 seniors back this year and 16 starters back, and they had a wonderful off season. So when you put in that much work and you've got that much experience, you're going to be in ball games, and we were pretty formidable. So it's been a long time since we've scored over 400 points in the regular season, and I think we gave up 62. So it's been fun, but now matchups are everything, and it's going to depend upon what path we get in the playoffs.
Well, what'd your team do well this year? Who stood out for your team in terms of production and contributions?
Well, offensively, we're a run-based system. We're a flex bone option offense, so our quarterback position is really important. Our quarterback, Bo Zeleznik, I think was just shy. I think he finished 4 yards shy of 1,000 for the regular season, running the ball. So he was good. Stephon Williams is a junior fullback for us. He's around the 600-yard mark. And then we've got 4 other guys that rotate at wing and fullback that were all in the 300-yard range. So we have a lot of depth. Our offensive line is good. We've got several 3-year starters up front. So we had all the pieces to be solid offensively, and then defensively, we pursue the ball well. Brock Owens is a returning starter at the inside linebacker position. He leads us in tackles. Tate Sigler is a big presence at the D tackle position for us. He's another senior. Mm-hmm. Braden Fox has had a good year in the secondary for us. He leads us in interceptions. So, yeah, and all these guys are seniors. It's been a fun year. It's a year that you don't have come along very often at a small 1A school like ours, and we're just enjoying every minute of it.
Did your team face much adversity this year? Judging by final scores, doesn't look that way, but that doesn't tell the whole story, obviously.
No. I felt like we had teams come out and compete well with us for a while. Teams' years are always so strange how teams' records end up, but everybody always plays everyone a little bit differently, and I think styles have a lot to do with that. So we had some teams who didn't have the best record this year, but competed well against us. I thought Hayworth was very physical against us this year for a while. Obviously Warrensburg Latham is a team that has quite a bit of skill, so they gave us some problems early on just with their ability to spread the field and run and throw it. And, of course, GCMS has some outstanding athletes there. And I think that game was 14-6 at half until we pulled away. So, so we had to make sure that we took care of the football and play mistake-free. And, And we were able to do that most of the year, and allowed us to pull away in the second half.
When you're talking about games like that, probably going into the next week where, the final score looks like a big win in terms of just that final, gap in final score. That's probably where you as a coach and a coaching staff have to really dial in on the very little things and the very minor details that make a good football team great. Do you mind speaking to that at all?
Yeah, well, I think that when you look at those games, a play here or a play there can tip the scales. And a lot of times you go back and you look through tape, and you're like, man, had they converted there, that would have changed the outcome probably for the next quarter. Or if we don't get that stop and they move the chains, and they're going to eat 6 more minutes off the clock, so maybe we don't score another touchdown to extend the lead. And yeah, there's moments like that throughout games that add up. And yeah, so for us, it's the nice thing when you do have a lot of returning starters, you're able to focus on a lot of little things, first steps and techniques that you want to try and perfect as best you can before the playoffs that you're going to need when you see some opponents who are going to match you physically and athletically. And so that's where our mindset is right now as a staff.
Sure. What's how do your kids take to coaching like that and respond to things like that?
Well, I think that's a fundamental truth that's a reality if you want your program to be good. And kids understanding that you have there is always something that you can improve upon. And you have to look at it objectively. You can't look at it emotionally or subjectively. Mm-hmm. It's got to be an objective, okay, I can do that better, right? Or this happened, why did this happen? Evaluate it. What do I need to do differently? And then let's do it differently. And then that will be a drill or something that we'll do in practice, and we'll repeat it over and over. But yeah, the kids have to be able to respond to, we won 41-7, but was your performance good enough to beat the top teams in the state, right? Well, I mean, what is your goal here? Is it just to win this game 41-7, or is it to win, a game on a Saturday in November sometimes? So it's, staying focused on the end goal moving forward, and kids will be responsive to that. Mm-hmm. and understand that.
Sure. Well, Coach, as you think about the 1A playoffs, what's your team doing well going into the postseason? What do you like about where this team is at?
Well, I think the one thing we've done tremendously, better than any team I've had, I think we've got, I want to say 4 turnovers on the season total. We don't turn the ball over. And for us, as a ground-oriented offense, that's huge because we can't lose possessions, and we got to limit penalties, and our penalties have not been bad this year as well. So we don't make many mistakes, and when you're running the football and you're playing these spread teams that you're trying to keep the ball away from, you got to play mistake-free football. We've done a great job of doing that, and we're going to have to continue that moving forward.
Sure, that kind of answers my next question. But what's your team got to do to be successful in the playoffs this year?
Well, we're going to have to drive the ball. We're going to have to chew clock. We're going to see. I think the path that we're going to take north in 1A, we're going to see some formidable opponents early and often. So. We are going to have to be able to take care of the ball, drive the football, chew clock, keep it out of their hands. And then defensively, we got to try to find ways to get stops and get off the field on third down. And if we can get a turnover, that'd be great. We've seen some highlights of some of the teams that are out there that are potential opponents for us, and they look good. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So going north, if I remember right, last year you went south and kind of ran into that buzzsaw that was Althoff Catholic, correct?
Yeah. We were fortunate to get to go to Althoff second round, and that ended our season. So went 9-2, but that game was a great experience for a group that had a lot of guys coming back, because they know that they've seen the best athletes that this state has to offer. They've been on the field with three kids that have gotten Power 4 offers, or four kids that got Power 4 offers. So they have a little bit of confidence that we're going to be able to step on the field and we're going to be able to compete against whatever talent the other team has. And so sometimes, going to play that kind of game, but also doing some good things in that kind of game against that kind of opponent helps build for the next season.
Sure. Very good. Well, Coach, you don't get a group like this very often. How excited are you for them to have this opportunity?
Very excited, and they deserve it. They've done everything we've asked of them. They've gone above and beyond, and they look after each other. They take care of one another. They lift each other up. They've been the ultimate team to this point. So I'm very happy for them and excited for them to have an opportunity to make a run at it.
Sure. Well, Coach, I only tell this to a few people, but when this show comes around, I got to check to make sure LeRoy's in the playoffs, and if they are, you're one of my first contacts to get on the program because I just enjoy talking to you and always root for your football team. So best of luck this year, and I hope you guys make a deep run.
Thank you. I appreciate the support. You do a wonderful job.
Coach, you're the best. I appreciate you, my friend. Be well. Enjoy the evening. Coach BJ Zeleznik, LeRoy football coach, our guest on the high school playoff preview show here on this Saturday night. We are just about 10-15 minutes from those pairings starting to come out, and Coach Zeleznik and his Panthers should be one of the first to find out their landing in the postseason in Class 1A. We'll take a break here. More to come on the playoff preview show. WHW, WEZC, and DeWittDailyNews.com.